Hello there, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm very excited to see everyone here. I'm David. I'm on our brand growth team over here at Faire, and I'm delighted to be joined by my colleague Adrian. Together, we work very closely with brands like yourself to help them get the most out of the tools at your disposal on Faire. And we're super excited to have you here today to talk about some strategies to make the most of the upcoming Faire Market here in July. A couple of housekeeping notes before we do get started. On the right side of your screen, you'll see three options. The first one's chat, the second one's docs, and the third one is Q&A. If you do have questions for our Faire team during the session, please submit those via the Q&A feature. And if you want to chat with and ask questions to fellow brands, please do this within the chat feature. And as we go through this, we'll do our best to answer any questions that come through the Q&A in real time. The docs section is just going to have different resources for you guys, most of which we are covering today, but those resources are something that you can take with you afterward. Second, we are recording this session and we'll be sending out the recording to all attendees afterward. So no need to worry about taking detailed notes. That said, I do recommend you have your Faire portal open alongside the webinar if you want to follow along today. And lastly, we'll be launching a short survey at the end of the session before you leave. And we do ask that you share your feedback and ask follow-up questions there. And please do take the 60 seconds before we end to share your perspective. We do look through it and it helps us improve these sessions and understand what's most important to you all for the further sessions that we're going to be running. But without further ado, let's get started here. On our agenda today, there's going to be a variety of different things. We'll cover Faire Market details. When is it? What is it? And why is it so important? Next, we'll look how should you prepare and what are some proven strategies that teams have employed to maximize their sales? And lastly, we will leave you with some action items that we would recommend prioritizing in the lead up to Faire Market. So without further ado, let's get into the details here. So to kick off, first and foremost, our next Faire Market is just around the corner. It's going to be taking place from July 20th to the 23rd, with insider retailers having access on July 20th, and the rest of our non-insider buyers from July 21st to 23rd. For those who don't know what an insider retailer is, they pay a monthly subscription for increased free shipping. So they're really some of our most engaged retailers, and they're going to be chomping at the bit for this event to get started. So what actually is Faire Market? Faire Market is a 4-day online buying event that takes place twice a year, once in January and once in July. On these dates, Faire promotion matches up to 5% when you opt into a market promotion. So for example, if you put a 5% promotion on your shop, it would be a 10% promotion with our match. And it's also fully free to participate in these markets. So why should you actually participate in Faire Market? The reason is these dates are 4 of the busiest days on Faire for retailers all year and represent a great opportunity for you to not only strengthen existing relationships, but acquire new customers. You want to give your existing retailers the best possible prices on your products with a little help from us at Faire and acquire new customers by utilizing all the benefits of buying on Faire to streamline your top line growth, drive more traffic to your shop, and really be discovered by as many new retailers as possible. During the last Faire Market, over 30,000 brands participated and 79,000 retailers shopped. And this actually led to 136,000 new relationships being formed, which is awesome to see. So to actually participate in Faire Market, all you'll have to do is set up a market promotion. You can do that in your Faire portal, which I'll show you in just a moment here. We also do provide an event guide after you've opted in that shows you all the steps you need to take during this process to really be as successful as possible. And additionally, you can download our brand assets to share on your socials and with your community. But let's quickly walk through how to actually get this set up in your brand portal here. So in terms of setting that promotion up, you'll either click the top banner on your homepage of the brand portal or go to the events tab under marketing in your brand portal. And once you are in there, you can either set a single or a tiered promotion. To set a a single promotion, which you'll see here, for all of your products, you'll just enter the percentage off you want to provide, and we will match that up to 5%. Alternatively, you can set a tiered promotion either with 2 or 3 tiers. Oftentimes, brands use this to really incentivize a higher average order value. So maybe your first tier is a 10% off promotion if that retailer spends $150. And then your second tier is a 25% promotion if a retailer, let's say they spend $500. Couple of things to consider when setting up your promotion. Number one, whether or not to offer free shipping. When you set up that promotion, you can choose to offer it. Oftentimes, this can help to move the needle in terms of conversion. Second, you can choose to exclude or include your pre-order products from your market promotion based on your business needs. And then lastly, please make sure to follow our pricing policy on Faire. We do take this very seriously and want to make sure we're preserving the retailer experience and providing them with the best prices possible. A couple of callouts that I do want to make. Number one, product level promotions do stack on top of market promotions. So if you do have a certain number of products with an additional 10% off product promotion, those will stack on top of your market promotion. Second, promotions provided to retailers via the invoicing tool or via the Faire brand app for brands will not be matched. And last here, commission is calculated based on the discounted order subtotal prior to Faire's promotion match, so you aren't getting penalized for your own discount. Now that we know the basic, let's get into how to prepare for the market coming up. So we're going to break this down into 4 key categories that really go into a successful Faire market. Number one is going to be shop readiness. Second is going to be increasing visibility pre-market. Third is going to be what to do during that Faire market. And last thing is, how do we maintain that momentum that you've built up after the market? So as with most industries, wholesale buying really follows predictable seasonal waves, albeit typically a few weeks sooner than your D2C channels. On here, you can see that retailers have actually already started to add items to their cart for Faire Market, and this began in early June. This also coincides with where we start to see traffic really start to increase for fall, Halloween, and Christmas buying. So it is crucial that we get your shop set up for success before this. So let's start with shop readiness here. I always tell teams that this is really the baseline of success on Faire, having a shop page that is always ready to convert. And here's a couple of things that I would recommend. Number one, make sure to have an updated and complete catalog available on Faire, adding any new products that you might need to get up there beforehand. In fact, we see that having a complete catalog actually boosts conversion by 20% on average. Second, make sure to update your product listings and descriptions. Ensure that they're really SEO forward and seasonally relevant. And this ensures that your products are as discoverable and as convertible as possible. Third, be sure you're highlighting your best sellers, new releases, and spotlighting trends in different seasonal collections to make it easier to navigate your shop page. You can do this via our email campaigns. You can do this by setting up collections. And this is a great way to curate your guys' overall product portfolio to highlight these items. And then lastly, make sure that all of your operational details are up to date. That means checking that your lead times and shipping windows are adjusted for high volume periods so you don't have any late shipments, and all your MOQ and first order minimums are aligned to customer and business needs. So here you'll see our customer relationship management tool that can help you segment and target your customers in ways that drive sales. One thing I want to make sure everyone here is doing is updating your customer database before the market. Whether you're coming out of trade shows or other events, make sure that all of your most recent leads are uploaded. From here, make sure that you've sent them an invite email with your Faire Direct link to make sure that all of your 0% commission accounts are locked in prior. You can also create other customized segments to reach out to as well. One brand I worked with created filters of a segment that had ordered from them during the last market to reach out to. A lot of teams will create segments around insider retailers and things of that nature as well. Now, I want to dive into a couple of different marketing tools at your disposal that are not only going to help you the most to make the most of Fair Market, but are tools that will actually have a huge impact beyond the market as well. So we'll focus on 4 of those as you begin prepping for the market. The first one's going to be Faire Direct. Second is going to be email automations. Third is going to be email campaigns. And the last thing is going to be promoted listings. So any of the brands that are out there today that I've worked with in the past or are working with currently know that I harp on this a ton. But one of the most impactful tools at your disposal on Faire is going to be Faire Direct. Almost all of our top brands are using it. And at a high level, your Faire Direct link allows you to capture new leads or existing relationships at no commission, as long as they haven't purchased from you on Faire prior. However, I do want to make clear that the value for Faire Direct actually goes far beyond this 0% commission relationship, whether it is 60-day payment terms, free returns on first orders, or 50% off their first order with your brand, up to $150, and a year of free shipping with your brand if they are a brand new retailer to Faire. Our incentives really help to increase new customer acquisition. Beyond this, the more you use your Faire Direct tools, the better we actually get at understanding your target customer and matching you with the right retailer opportunities within the marketplace. It really acts as a feedback loop, enabling us to make smarter matches for your brand. And it's the one tool that is not only going to help you inside of Faire, but outside of Faire as well. So you can send this link out via email to new leads. You can also send it out via socials, link trees, stories, things of that nature. I've even seen some teams leverage our incentives to look to re-engage with previously lapsed buyers of yours from outside of Faire. And then the number one way that I would recommend using it, as you can see above, is actually by adding your Faire Direct link onto your website. Teams that add the link to their website actually see 50% more sales than teams who don't. And there are 3 ways that you can add it. On here, you'll see our full page Shopify widget. There's also the card widget that you can add, which shows all of the different incentives in a very kind of like simple image. Or you can also add a tab labeled wholesale onto your main or footer menu that would link directly to your Faire Direct link. All of those different options will be available for you within your portal under Faire Direct and then in the drop down where it says wholesale website. So next tool here is automations. Automations is a valuable, totally free tool to streamline your communications with the right retailers. And it's actually a totally revamped feature where we've nearly doubled the amount of automations across 3 specific themes: driving reorders, converting leads, and inspiring loyalty. Transparently, I would recommend setting up all these automations as they will help you to passively maintain relationships and drive reorders without taking up any of your bandwidth after that initial setup. On here, you can actually see that we've got a new trade show automation, and brands that actually reconnect with their leads within 7 days of a trade show see a significant uplift in conversions. So automations is really a great way to help your long-term wholesale growth, not just during the market too. And once you've got that customer list updated from before, make sure that you're touching base with your retailers prior to the Faire Market. Typically, in the lead up to the Faire Market, I recommend at least sending 1 email per week to your customers. And for the brands I work with, one of the emails I recommend sending is sending out an email to all of your customers, letting them know not only that you're participating, but what your discount is going to be. A lot of the retailers that are buying during Faire Market will actually build their carts ahead of time. So the earlier you get in front of them, the more sales you're likely to see. The last marketing tool I want to discuss here is one that is really meant to accelerate your growth on Faire, and that's promote listings. It's Faire's wholesale advertising tool, and the goal is to drive long-term value for your team by putting you in high visibility positions in the search and category pages. And given the amount of traffic on Faire during the market, this is a great time to test it out and maximize your visibility. Overall, teams that use promoted listings see a 70% increase in views of their products and a 25% increase in new customer acquisition compared to organic results. And during the market specifically, teams that leverage promoted listings, in addition to that market promotion, see a 20% increase in sales compared to those brands that just run a market promotion. So it's super easy to set up. All you're going to have to do is go into the marketing tab and click promoted listings. And if you absolutely want to make the most of Faire Market, utilizing promoted listings is a great way to do just that. And without further ado, I am going to pass it over to my colleague, Adrian, to take us through the rest of the presentation here.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Now that we're more familiar with the basics around market and some of our tools that will help grow your reach, I want to get into some best practices. These are tactics that you can use as we head into market in the next couple weeks, but they're also tactics that you can use ongoing on Faire to continue to grow your wholesale business. Personalization is key when it comes to driving more engagement from your customers. And in fact, we see a 26% increase in open rate when messages feel more personalized via email. So the key to doing this within your customer list lives on that customers tab. And as a reminder, you can find that on the left-hand side of your brand portal. In case you haven't spent much time here, I'll give you a little bit of an overview of what's possible, but it's quite robust. We have a number of built-in segments. You can find these at the top of your customers page. You'll see where it says all contacts, and if you click there, it will drop down a list of our pre-populated segments. These you can use to filter to see who may have items in cart, who hasn't ordered in the last 60 days, and who is eligible to claim their Faire Direct offer, among a number of other segments. If you want to be even more creative and personal, we have limitless filters that you can manipulate and customize. So, for example, if you just launched a new flavor or a new colorway in your line, you can actually search for retailers that bought a similar product in the past and then create a list so that you can reach out to those folks and introduce that new item to them that hopefully they will buy back into. And if you're craving more data, you can manipulate the columns and the view on your customers tab so that you can see exactly the information that is relevant to you. And this will help you move your buyers from lead all the way to reordering customer. And just as a reminder, if you're not currently working with retailers, you can add new emails here as leads. All you'll need is the email address so you can look up boutiques in your area, or in a new area that you want to sell into, and add these right to your customer list. Use these filters then to target them. We know it's very hard to replicate the in-person relationship and experience that happens offline, but the Messenger tool is a really great way to build rapport and connection with your customers online and at scale. Messages go to just one retailer at a time, unlike the email campaigns. So they're not only great for order communication, but also for upselling and for requesting reviews. Some tactics you can try during market, if you haven't yet, are thanking a retailer for their first order with you, or maybe even sending a promo code towards their next reorder. We also recently added templates to the messages feature. So should save you even more time in being able to connect with your customer in this way. Sharing your Faire Direct link on your social outlets is one of the best ways to stay engaged with your customers, drive more traffic to your Faire Shop page, and ultimately improve your conversion rate. A lot of brands say that their social media channels are direct-to-consumer focused only, but you'd be surprised how many retailers actually report that this is the number one way that they learn about new brands. So don't overlook this channel as an opportunity for lead generation and expanding your reach. Once you sign up for Faire Market, you'll have access to our event guide and free downloadable assets to help you drive more orders through social media. Use these to let your customers know whether they're new or returning that you're participating, and you don't even have to spend time on copy or design creating them. You'll see some examples on the slide of what we've already created for you. All you need to do is make a post with your Faire Direct link. If you do have a designer, you can certainly get branded with your posts. Just make sure to include that Faire Direct link so that you're capturing orders at 0% commission from retailers who interact with your posts. Here you'll see a few examples from some brands. Big Moods is using their Faire Direct link in one of their paid ads on Facebook, also promoting their sale. And then the Neighbor Shop is sharing their link in their stories to promote their tiered market promotion that they're getting ready to offer. Posting about the market on social media is one of the best ways to tell the independent retailer community about one of your biggest sales of the year. If this isn't something you do year-round, Market is the perfect time to test out some surprise and delight for your customers. Delight your retailers in unexpected ways. Include a free sample, drop a handwritten thank you note with their order. This will really help your brand stand out and be memorable for reorders. Bring your retail partners into your story by celebrating milestones together. So whether that's your brand's anniversary, hitting a sales target, or adding a new retailer to your stockist list on your website, these are moments that you should celebrate with your customers. A simple email shout out or social shout out saying, thank you, it wouldn't be possible without you, helps shift the mindset from client to partner. These seemingly small touches make your partner feel valued and create a memorable moment. When retailers feel like they're part of your success, they're more emotionally invested and more likely to continue investing and buying from you. So this tactic will not only help you stand out this market, but year-round. Now, we covered quite a bit today, but good news is our team has put together a 4-phase game plan for you on how to make the most out of Market. This is a checklist to get you show ready and set you up for success before, during, and after the market. You can find it on the right-hand side of your screen under the Docs tab. You'll see the market checklist. Give that a click, save it to your favorites, and reference it after this session, along with the recording that you will get emailed as well. Okay, so to distill it down even simpler, if there are 3 things that you can do today to get ready for market, here they are. First, set up your promotion if you haven't yet. As a reminder, Faire will match up to 5%, and I recommend setting up a tiered promotion to drive larger orders. So head now to marketing, events, and you'll find the option to set up that promo. Number 2, make yourself a marketing plan using your Faire Direct link. When will you update your customer list with new leads? When will you send 2 to 3 emails leading up to the market? And don't forget to add your shop link to your primary website if it's not already there, even if it's a direct-to-consumer only website. This is your largest opportunity to maximize your growth beyond Faire Market. And then finally, set up an advertising campaign. This is the time to test it out if you're curious. Our January and July markets are always the biggest spike in the bar graph for brands. Traffic on the site is heavier than ever. So it's easy to test out. You can start with as low as 200 in your local currency and boost your sales for this market. You can cancel at any time, so it's a great way to just test the waters and see what it can do for you on Faire. All right, before we go, please take a moment to share your feedback with us. We're launching a quick, easy poll that you should see popping up in front of you now. We'd love to hear your feedback on the session, what was helpful, where you need more clarity, what topics you'd like to learn about next. And you should see that popping up now. Take just a moment, they're quick questions. And we'd love to hear what you thought of the session and if this was helpful and what we can bring to you next. We'll give folks just a moment to fill that out. And as you're filling out that quick survey, I'll flash up some of the resources that you have ongoing for Faire. The first being our Faire blog, which is just right on the Faire website, or if you Google Faire blog, and Faire Academy. The blog has a ton of written articles, stories from other brands and retailers, trend reports that are super helpful. And then Faire Academy is where we host video content. So you'll see recordings of similar sessions like this, small video shorts. We will eventually add this recording there too. And then next, connect with us on social. If you haven't yet, make sure you find Faire Wholesale. Tag us in your posts. Our team does often cross share, so it's a great way to get yourself on our social team's radar. We also have a brand community on Facebook where you can join the conversation and talk with other brands and owners. And then finally, delivered to you monthly in your inbox is The Goods. It's our newsletter that will include all sorts of good content, updates on what Faire is launching. So definitely make sure to tap into these resources if you aren't yet. One last reminder, you'll find a lot of these links in the docs section available to you in the top right of your screen as well. Awesome. If you've already filled out the poll, thank you for doing so. If you haven't yet, please take another moment or two. That wraps our time today. Thank you for spending this half an hour with us this morning. Wishing you a very successful Faire Market, and thank you so much for your partnership. Have a great rest of your week.